Hey guys, Rapid Start 12 here, back at it again with another lighting video. Today I'm going to show you my DIY T5 mini fluorescent strip light. Now, you guys most likely recognize this strip light if you have seen any of my other videos. Yes, this is the one that sits up here on display on my desk, along with all of those nice incandescent bulbs up there as well. Ooh, it looks so empty up there without the strip light up there. And, woo! That's a lot of dust. It doesn't want to focus for some reason, but there's a lot of dust up there. I gotta get that cleaned up later. But anyway, focus of this video is not dust. It is, of course, on this strip light. So, I actually made this strip light with my dad pretty recently. I think it was like the very beginning of July, so pretty recently. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the outside of this strip light. Now, on top here, we can see the single F6T5 fluorescent tube, as well as the two sockets that it attaches to. I forget if they are G8 or G5 sockets. I think it's a G8, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I forget which one is for the T5. But anyway, we also have a cover here that covers the ballast channel. Now, on all of the sides here, we just have nothing. On the bottom as well, you can see some of the paint got rubbed off when we cut down those screws there. But anyway, the paint is just a primer for now. I wanted to paint it white originally, but haven't gotten to it yet. I'm not sure what color I'm going to paint it, or if I just want to leave it this color. I don't know, this color is kind of interesting. It's kind of grown on me. At first, I didn't particularly care for it, but it's kind of grown on me a little bit. And then, on this end of the fixture, we have one of those strain relief things. I think this is meant to go on an electrical box, like in your house, to clamp down on Romex, but they also work pretty good as a strain relief for regular cords as well. So that's good. Whoops. This fixture is very heavy. But anyway, we also have a 5-foot black grounded cord, 18 gauge, on there as well. Of course, it's bundled up here because that is how long I need the cord for my desk here. And that just goes right into the fixture. Now, we'll go ahead and measure this fixture so you can see just how big it is. So, we'll start here on the side. This fixture measures exactly 9 inches long, just about. It is also about 1.75 inches tall. And if we take a look at it from this angle, come on, it is about 2.5 inches wide. So that's how big this fixture is, or rather small this fixture is. So let's go ahead and take a look at our fluorescent lamp here that I have in this fixture. It is a vintage Champion F6T5D daylight fluorescent lamp. Got this for my birthday, so I wanted to make a fixture for this, and that's what I made this fixture for. But anyway, we'll leave this out of here. Now, in order to get inside to our ballast, we need to use this screwdriver to remove these 4 screws, which you can see on the fixture. So I'll go ahead and speed up the video while I do that. You would not believe how difficult those screws are to get out. Of course, because they're just self-tapping screws in the metal. But yeah, that was pretty difficult. But anyway, we'll go ahead and remove our cover here to expose our ballast. This is a nice, advanced, trigger start, rapid start, whatever you want to call it, ballast for one F4, F6, or F8T5 lamp. Yes, you would be right. This is a trigger start ballast for a short T5 lamp. So yeah, this is the ballast that's in there. Let's take a look at the label in a little more detail here. It's category number LQ-106F-TP for one 4-watt, 6-watt, or 8-watt lamp. No PCBs, advanced, Class P, Type 1, Quick Start, which is actually just a trigger start. They call it trigger start in the catalogs, and they call it quick start on these older ballasts, and on the newer ones, they call it preheat, which is totally ridiculous, but yeah. Minimum stirring temp, 50 degrees, pretty typical for a magnetic ballast. You are listed, made in the USA. Ground ballast and mount within 3/8 inches of a grounded metal reflector. Install in accordance of the NEC. Typical warning information and stuff. 120 volts, 60 hertz, 0.335 amps. Pretty typical label. And this ballast was made in November of 1990. I am not going to take it out to show the date code because this ballast is a complete pain to remove, I am sure. I've never tried to take it out since we made this fixture. But anyway, in the ends here, it's a tight squeeze, but we do have our wiring in there, connecting the ballast wires to the cord wires and the socket wires. Well, there's one last thing to look at, and that's the label on the fixture itself. So this is the mini strip light, model SL09-106, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 335 milliamps. Yep, manufactured on July 8th, 2022. Caution, risk of fire. Use only 6-watt F6T5 replacement lamp. Risk of electric shock. Do not use where directly exposed to water. For indoor use only. Made in the USA. So, there is the cover label. So, I will be right back after I have put this fixture back together. Alright, I have done 2 things. I have put the fixture back together, and I have turned off the lights. So now, it is time to fire up this mini strip light. In 3, 2, 1. You can see the very nice trigger start flicker there with this ballast. This ballast has a nice flickery startup to it. It's not particularly long, but it is a pretty flickery startup. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the bulb in action. Of course, you can see the yellow flicker band there from the halo phosphate daylight lamp. Of course, halo phosphate has a phosphor decay that is yellow in color. A triphosphor would have a light green phosphor decay, and a deluxe halo phosphate would have a dark green phosphor decay. So, anyway, there's a wonderful old etch. That etch is perfect on our lamp. Just showing it from a bunch of different angles here. That's a nice picture right there. Very cool. Well, anyway, we will go up here and we will see just how well this fixture illuminates up here. So here it is, placed directly above the phone and shining directly onto the wall. As you can see, it is very bright. Whoops. Wow. This phone really does not like to focus, does it? But there it is, shining directly on the wall. There it is, shining down on stuff. And here it is, shining up on stuff. So, that is an idea of just how bright this lamp is. And as for CRI, it's not looking too good. Of course, the halo phosphate daylight has a CRI of 75. It's alright, but it's not particularly good. It does look better on camera than it does in real life, but it is pretty poor color rendering. But that's okay, because this lamp is just for, like accent use, just as like a cool light to, have on for display. So anyway, we'll go ahead and watch it start up a few more times. Super flickery, nice startup. Of course, if you turn it off and then back on immediately, it'll start up faster than normal. And if you leave it unplugged for a while, like this, then it'll have a nice long startup like that. Well, anyway, it's time to turn this light off. Oh, we'll watch it turn on one more time. I love all the flicker that we get out of this light. The flicker is amazing. Well, anyway, I will be right back after I turn the lights back on. Alright, I am back, and it's time for me to go. But before I go, let's take one last look over this super cool DIY fluorescent light. There's the other side, the bottom, that end, that end. Here's the cord. And here is the etch on the beautiful vintage lamp. Made in the USA too. Don't think I mentioned that. Well, anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Until next time.